I am so excited in this episode of Chopping It Up with Buck to have my mentor, the guy that was at UCLA way before me, but
man, I ain't that old. Don't be making me like old like Ray Bell and Frank Stevens, all them old dudes, man. Yeah, I'm still 40.
Hey, but you know what was funny is I reached out to you because Terry Donahue wasn't your head coach. I know Vermeil was. But
he was. Yes, he was. My last year he was.
Oh, that's right. Your last year because Vermeil left and then Terry became the head coach. But I can remember he was like, you know what? By my second year, when he finally figured out, he kind of, we started the job a little bit. Because my first year, I'm a brother from Houston. I'm like, man, who's this dude trying to tell me? So I'm trying to make it be hard. He said, I got a guy I want you to introduce you to. And he said, go look him up. Rick Doc Walker, great UCLA Bruin tight end. I want to connect you guys. And from that moment on, we have talked. You have helped me with career advice, broadcasting. I kind of followed in your footsteps. I didn't win a Super Bowl, unfortunately. But that nonetheless, my great friend and mentor, Doc Walker. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Buck. Terry was the best position coach that I'd seen on our staff. This is when Dick was there. And he worked that offensive line. And, I mean, those guys were a tight unit. And I really respected how hard he worked every day. Then we had him as a head coach. We had him in his inaugural year. And he wasn't the biggest risk taker as he would ultimately become. Because we still mad over every time I see him, I say, Terry, man, we tied Ohio State in the horseshoe. We got to come. I mean, we settle for a tie. But we'll laugh. But he won. I mean, he won 8 straight against the Trojans. He built a dynasty. Only thing that I'm confused as to why the heck he left. Maybe him back in, because now it's like he had it at a dominant level, and it hasn't returned to that, unfortunately.
Doc, it's interesting you say that because I kind of have the same discussion. In '88, we were number 1 in the country for weeks. Should have beat SC, lost to them 2 years in a row, and got knocked out of the Rose Bowl. Ended up in the top 5, but you don't get anything for winning. You come second or in top 5 or whatever. But yeah. I agree with you. The one thing that I always thought was like, let us loose. And when he decided to let us loose, it was a different ball. But I agree with you. One of the best organizers and communicators of what he wanted done. Now that I've been around other coaches, I didn't realize how good he was at doing that and setting the tempo of the program. To your point, I think that's a spot on analogy.
Yeah, well, I had Frank. I had Frank Gans, who is a phenomenal coach. Ended up being head coach of Kansas City Chiefs, and then let me get rid of these people. And
then, you're so busy, Doc. I know, just to take a look.
No. And so then Dick Vermeil, who was phenomenal, Terry Donahue, Frank Gans. Those 3 people I was in contact with most. Carl Peterson was when I was playing X, before I moved to Y, Carl Peterson was our coach, the GM of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
So we had people, but you needed that commitment to win. And I think it was there in Dick, because it was just no substitute for Dick. We thought we were going to Rose Bowl and have a party. Dick said, hey, it ain't worth going if we don't win. And he had to snap people in that mindset. So there was a lot of growth in that. And the 76 Rose Bowl, everything that encountered, beating SC 39-9, all those things going into it, conquering everything you have to do. So no matter what the year is, and the big boys are still the big boys. Yeah. Ohio State is still a monster. Alabama died, but came back to life.
Yeah.
So these things are coming. I don't like to see the Trojans down. I don't like the West is down. Oregon's touching it, but they touch it, they don't punch it. We need to go punch it. See, so I'm still, out here living on the East Coast. They don't even watch us. The whole thing's too late. So part of that, there's a lot of pride in that, but hey, it is what it is. And right now, I just settled to seeing our guys play again. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be good. Well, you were born in Cherry Point, North Carolina, and then you attended high school in Santa Ana, California, Valley High School. When did you guys move out to the West Coast?
Father, yeah, well, he was a Marine, so we got stationed. You know, I'm laughing at these baseball players now, and I tell them to their face, you talking about you don't want to be away from your family for 4 months to make millions of dollars. Our fathers were deployed for 9 months or to a year. Families went without their fathers and mothers in the military. Grow up. Yeah, grow up. Seriously.
My dad didn't serve, but I had family members that served.
No question, but I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Have to do, that's part of the American way. These people went to fight for the rights for us to play sports, and now we got some jackasses talking about they don't want to be away from their family from whatever. Yeah, okay, step up, man, seriously. So this whole Corona deal has opened up a perspective. You really start to value what you miss. Now you see how important some of the little things were that you took for granted, I took for granted. And now you're stuck with yourself. Yeah. And not everybody likes themselves. That's what you start to find out. People have more conflicts from being at home than they did from going to work. And so what are we going to be like when this is over is what I want to see, because this is finding out who you are. We all searching for what makes you tick. You're a parent, so you're worried about your people that are out there in the world, hoping that you gave them that foundation so they can make good decisions. And when your kids are splattered out, that's your work, reflection of your work, what they do and how they do it. And so that becomes another layer. And then the people you touch. To touch someone and to be an influence in their life is like Raymond Burks. You know, he reached out to me. Ray was Mr. LA. I was lucky. I didn't know anybody. But then I get Ray Burks to reach out. See, so Wendell Tyler and them guys all from LA. You know, Burks from LA. So when you get the LA guy bring you in, then my dog, Perry Nichols, he's from Carolina too. He's out there, just ran a run at LACC with all them gangsters they had. And they won a national championship in junior college. Rod Martin, all them boys, they bad boys. So I got Nick. You start building your thing. Then Frank. Then our crew, Ray Bell. Our crew starts to assemble itself. And that crew, we had a hell of a run. You know, Cliff Frazier's out there. You know, he's an A1 guy. He's a bone baby. You know, he got the Hollywood address. And you start to learn how UCLA does this thing. And then there's the basketball brothers who's showing you a whole new way of life. So if you really smart, you start paying attention. You start saying, okay, there's levels. What level do you want to be on? Because you have to work for it. And then you just go get it. That's what we did. Yeah.
Well, and talking about that, you said influences. Your dad, military man, Marine. Your mom was a big influence on your life. I know she was a nurse. Fairview State Hospital. Yeah. Tell me about your relationship with your mom.
Well, she worked at Fairview State Hospital, which now we don't say, but the hospital, they referred to the patients as mentally retarded back in the day. Mentally ill, or whatever, we've added a new twist to it. That was her whole life. So you put 29 years into that, her and her crew. So birthdays, I knew what a hydrocephalic was growing up. I got to see that all births, if you don't tell your kids, they don't know. I didn't know that all births didn't work. And kids are born blind, kids are born deaf, kids are born dead, stillborn, and the hydrocephalics. There's all kinds of things that happen. But when you go over there and we're celebrating birthdays with them, we're down in Fountain Valley, California, so a suburb about 40 hours from LA. So a lot of people that are well-to-do, their kids were there. And I learned then, because mom would say, well, you know, a lot of famous people come through once or twice a year. That's all they got. So when you learn young, you learn and you go, wait a minute. So the people have a problem with their birthday, only come for once or twice a year. So we would have celebrations, their birthdays. We go down, make gifts, have cake with the kids. My mom, her crew, that's what they did. So when you grow up like she did in church, Now you're at the hospital. You start learning what volunteering means, what giving back, and you grow up because everybody doesn't have it the way you have it. We never thought ourselves as poor. You don't talk about your upper way you grew up till you leave. I never knew we didn't have anything until I went to college. Because we had everything. We had everything we need. You don't get what you want growing up like that. You get what you need.
Yeah.
And you learn what you want, what not to want.
My first love was baseball as well. And I totally know what you're saying. You know, it's interesting you talk about the transition from going from baseball to football. What coach in football made you really start to love the game? Because there are some coaches that'll run you out of that game. They will. But if
I got games because I hurt my arm. If I don't hurt my arm, I never. I mean, I was like, when I was 12, Bob Gibson was my mom let me stay home in 1968 to watch him pitch game 1 against Boston.
Okay.
I knew what I was going to do. And I said, hey, Mom, do they pay you? You only pitch once every 5 days. Do they pay you when you don't work? She said, I don't know, but I'll find out. She went to work the next day. And I came back. I'll never forget it, ever, ever, ever. I go, wait a minute. You mean to tell me I got 31 shots to come out. My teammate, my catcher got 160, and I'm getting what he's getting or more? Who on earth wouldn't take this? Sign me up. I was done. I said, all I want to do is put on that Dodger blue, man. I said, if I get to do this, you never have to worry about me. I ain't going to ask for nothing else. And then all the football guys, guys out there, they run and train and shit. And I'm going, hey, man, go ahead. And they try to punk you by saying, oh, man, you ain't tough. No, I ain't that tough. No, y'all going to be tough. I said, beat your brains out. I'm going to be rich, okay, and be dumb. Do it in my way. I'm coming out 30 times a day. So that's the little joke I used to have. But my boy, Daryl Roberts, love him to death, man. He was the hardest working dude, terrific athlete, and he understood how to train. We at Jerome Park. I don't know if you got a chance to see great special on Prince George's County football, basketball called Must Be in the Water with Durant and all the boys out of Prince George's County. It just aired last week.
I have it taped. I'm going to watch it.
You got to see it. It's unbelievable because the Park and Recreation Department did such a great job in Maryland of providing that. We had the center. If you gave us a place with a hardwood basketball, ping pong, pool, showers, swimming, we go in there every day, and we're going to play all day. We ain't getting in no trouble. We just competing. Everything you did, competing. We didn't have video games, so we actually played hide and seek, you know what I mean? But we played everything that required reaction and running. You jog home, run home, had a bike maybe. So our level of conditioning, you were skinny. I didn't know anybody wasn't real skinny. Very few guys was big back then, because you eat sandwiches. My kids, they don't even do sandwiches. You come home, you fix yourself a sandwich.
Yeah.
You do some bologna and some cheese. You better grab yourself a sandwich, go make yourself peanut butter and jelly, and get your behind back outside until the lights came on. Because, dog, if you was in a house around mama, you had to work. You wasn't sitting around. Honey, Rick, can you go? Oh, I'm gone. So wake up, boom, I'm gone. Lights come on, I'm back in the crib. So that's what it was.
Hey, Doc, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to with you. This is Chopping It Up with Buck. We'll be right back.
Many people are looking for natural alternatives to help ease their aches and pains. Begin stopping the pain with the help of Pain Stopper. Formulated by healthcare providers, Pain Stopper helps alleviate a variety of physical ailments so you can get back to doing what you love.
Our products are triple independently lab tested to ensure the highest quality hemp available.
Visit PainStopCBD.com for more information. Pain Stopper, because why manage pain when you can stop it?
How you guys doing? It's Artavis Scott here. The reason why I like Thin Energy is because I need to be at my peak performance no matter what I do. Big sports drink for me, keep it going, keeping myself up. It gets me on top of my game, extra boost that I need to keep it going in the fourth quarter. Working out, definitely a good drink for you to have. All the good nutrition that you need inside of it. Passion fruit, It's my favorite one. It's not just for professional athletes, it's for everyone. And I definitely can say it definitely works in the office or in the weight room, wherever you may be. You can go to thinenergy.com, tell them I sent you, and get you a drink. Thin Energy, the healthy alternative. Drink it, live it. See, if I got something like that, I can just go.
No sugar, no crash. Thin Energy.
All right, we're back with my man Rick Doc Walker on Chopping It Up, Buck. So Doc, I mean, I love the stories about playing outside. We talked a lot about that. Anytime I talk to you, I think that's how we all learn how to, you know, do the different sports, learning basketball. I mean, different muscle movements and all of that. I ask you about your, you know, when you got to UCLA, what was it like for you, and you know, what was your experience there at UCLA?
Really, you know, Frank and Ray, our crew, man, Willie Beeman, all the boys, man, we met up on the road. First of all, we had Dick Vermeil, who drove us all together.
Yes.
Because going through the hardest physical training ever. So you're questioning, your man has been tested every day.
Yeah.
So when you go through a radical cultural change that he brought about, you had very little free time. You didn't want to do anything but sleep. And you were basically a zombie to practice, and a zombie. And then the one day before we were going to quit on him, he gave us the day off and started crying. It was the first time I seen the man cry from his position. And we had been meeting saying, man, this is crazy. And that day, somehow he knew. And he had us up in Dykstra Hall.
Yep.
And he or Reba, one of the two, and he said how proud he was of us, and that he was taking the day. He wanted us all to just go back to the dorm and take the day, and how proud he was. And when we come back, we would pick up where we left off, because he never had a recruit that worked as hard. So right when you didn't even think the dude was paying attention, he throws that on you. And we had, you know, Johnny Shire. We had great leadership.
Yeah.
It was like Randy Cross, Jack D. Martinez, all these dudes, man. We had Phil McKinley, the huge corporation, Ray, you know, Horton. So we got there's a lot of older guys there, and you just trying to fit in, and then you realize how hard this is, and then this guy simplifies it. If you worked as hard as he pushed you, you had to beat your opponent. There's no way you could lose anybody and go back and deal with this guy in the system. So it was crazy, but our group was so close.
Yeah.
That, man, I couldn't pick a better group of dudes, man, to do that with.
Yeah. And it's funny you bring that up. We've had Marshall Falk on, we've had Kevin Carter, and they've all said about the crying. But on the other side of the crying is how hard Dick made them work, even in their Super Bowl year. They said just one of those situations where you never knew how hard you could work, and he probably would have pushed you.
I was 19. I can't know how the Eagles, I don't know how the Cardinals did. I mean, he had grown men then.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Bill Berge and those guys, he was in Philadelphia. I used to talk to Berge and those guys, man. Ron Jaworski, Harold Carmichael. One thing about Dick Vermeil, if you're an alumni of his movement and how they work, you all know the same thing. You know what it feels like to be pushed to the brink. You know what, at least you know what it looks like, because he pushed everybody to that point. And he was a genius in how he went about it. But the one thing you can say is that we won with it, and it worked. And it started a legacy, and Terry picked it up, and it continued to work. And it was a good thing watching those guys at Rose Bowls and seeing how they were climbing and building and recruiting. That was good. Nothing you could do about it unless you're a big donor. You out, you know, and you just hope. But everybody looks back to just check out on how they doing. And it's horrible for the basketball team now, although they came on strong towards the end.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like something is missing. You know, it's just But, you know, it can be taken away from you, man. It can be. Nothing ever.
Yeah, it's interesting, Doc. You talk about that because you won a Rose Bowl, then you were drafted by the Bengals, with the Bengals for years, got injured, and they wanted you to play when you weren't healthy. And so, tell us a little bit about. Yeah, I mean, so
now what's all good about it is that the one thing I tell all these young kids, one good thing about being out west in Westwood, about being in Westwood, is that I never felt like that I had to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Football in order to make a living. You know, because you're exposed to the screen actors, you know, you've been exposed to how people make a living. Yeah. So I never was like, you know, playing be great, but it wasn't my lifeline.
I got you. Yeah.
I wasn't afraid to work. I look forward to work, trying to build a business, being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
The last thing I thought, and they taught me in reality, at UCLA, being around Hollywood, being around Lakers and all that, I thought if you became a pro, you were rich. I had no idea that the National Football League, what a scam. There's so few guys that are rich. It's like the military. It's like a rank and file deal. You do get the multi guys or whatever, but rank and file is going year to year, year to year. And if you don't have the quarterbacks at the head of your political fight, you get nothing. It's a league split between the haves and the have-nots. And thank goodness now we just got that labor deal. We got a little bit of reprieve for the rank and file. But when you look at that compared to baseball, it's a joke. I mean, you start talking about people retiring, guys cashing in like Hall of Famers, cashing in when they were 40, 45, which is sinful, getting $200 and $300 a month. Really? See, so I wasn't built that way. So when you try to threaten me about telling me what's wrong with me or what's not, hey, man, we done. No problem. You do you, I'll do me, you know? And then you go out and start figuring out labor grief, which is proven. You can't say somebody, tell them that they can do something they're not able to do.
Yeah.
But that's what they taught. And it's good because I credit them. I credit them for my grit. Thank God they woke me up to the reality that this was a scam. You're not making a fortune playing with every team.
Talk about Joe Gibbs' effect on your career and the fun bunch and all you guys are hogs. You know, D.C. Chocolate City is great, but the Redskins, their fans are fanatical. And I can remember going in the RFK for a preseason game. I was just shocked by how many people were there and where you had to get off the bus. And the fans it was 3 hours before the game and they still there. Like, let's go. Are you ready to play? You ready to play us?
It's a special place. You're lucky if you get a chance to experience it. What I learned that for a team that was the most racist team in football with a racist owner, that it could be such a place that embraced you, and it had a collegiate atmosphere. And it was, you know, at UCLA, we could go from, you want to go from 45,000 to 105,000, lose a game. Out west, lose a game.
You're right.
You want to go from 50 for them for 70 to, if you want to see half your block gone, lose the game. Whereas out there in LA, they demand that you win. They don't even consider you if you don't win. Whereas by contrast, these people treated you like you were in high school. And I was at the Marriott for 3 weeks when I first got here on a Thursday. I had people calling me, offering me to come out and have dinner in these homes. I didn't know where I was at. It was called Middleburg. Google it. Okay. It's West Hollywood or Baldwin Hills, and people calling you, asking you if you want to go out to dinner or you like somewhere to stay. You know, it was a feeling that seldom have I ever felt in my life to where it's equal. Or to me, how you look matters everywhere and every time. It's factored into every decision. And I don't get a chance to control your subconscious because you judge me on sight. So it doesn't really matter what I say. You've already made an opinion upon me on sight. And that's the difference between being a man of woman of color and as opposed to it. Everybody thinks they can sympathize with you. They're clueless. You have no idea what it's like to be prejudged. So to get here and be legitimately embraced simply because you're part of this tribe was so comforting. And that's why now, as long as I'm associated with them, my commitment is to that fan base. That it's not like they were the defending world champions. They had success in '72, and they played out at the Coliseum and lost to the Dolphins, who were undefeated. But Britt Owens was on that team, Charlie Taylor, Barry Brown, Charlie Haraway, Jerry Smith. For whatever reason, they stayed in my hometown to saddle back in for the Super Bowl. And so we knew they went town. And Brig was from Orange County. So it was a natural link for me with the Skins. I'm going, wow, love Charlie Taylor. You know, we all love that big X because we were all pushed down. We all wanted to be outside.
Yeah.
You know? So you're outside, I'm watching Charlie Taylor, and I'm looking at guys like him, and I'm going, woo. But this fan base, incredible. Invite you to dinner. You go to a bar. You go to pay your check. Nope. You don't pay. No, you don't dry cleaning. You put your clothes in dry clean out of the restaurant. Come back to pay. They go, no, Redskins. What? I'm like, wow. And so it became such an infectious deal that once Joe came in, and Jack was good, and we lose our first 5 games, and Joe, you could see greatness always shows its head when times are the worst to me.
Yeah.
He never changed our plan. He adjusted things. Our value system remained intact.
It's about how the Fun Bunch came up. How did y'all come up with that?
Well, you know, you don't get to know everything. Some things we keep behind the back. It's just, believe me, as you well know, most of the things that come out started off silliness.
Yeah.
Started off in the stretching line. You know, most of our crap starts warming up, and that whole system. And we had a couple of things that we referred to ourselves at. We had to clean it up for public consumption, and that's when it ended in the Fun Bunch. It didn't start off being the Fun Bunch, but it ended up being the Fun Bunch. And we lost Art. It was all about the fact that Art was he was like Babe Ruth for us. So, you know, every time we in a jam, he hit a home run, we win. Every third night, like, the dude's incredible. Charlie Brown, Art Monk, we got Smurf, Donnie Warren. You know, we got all these guys, Clint, Charles. Oh, we got a lot of people. But James Arthur was the straw that turned the drink. So we said, and James got hurt right before our playoff run. He broke an ankle. So our first Super Bowl run, we don't have Babe Ruth. But what it did was it made everybody take a slice of the pie and expand their games to make up for his production. So it made us harder to defend because we were doing things nobody had seen done. Yeah. And Joe was such a genius in manipulating the defensive player's mind by our movement. We made them think. And you know, when in our generation we grew up, the only reason you was on defense because you couldn't catch or you couldn't remember. Right. That was we discarded people on defense in our generation. So we knew that if you challenge people and make them think more than they are accustomed to thinking, and we reduced their recognition time based on multiple movement. What appeared to be very complicated was pretty simple because we ran 5 plays out of 55 different looks. Yeah. And so with the old film, we used to give you 3 canisters a week. You give us 3 or 4. We knew that whatever we sent you, we would never do again for another month. So whatever you were working on, we would never, it was done. We trashed it and move on. But there were variations. And so it was genius. If you like an X and O's guy, I love the preparation. I love the process. I loved all the prep because it was challenging to see could you ace it and not blow anything. So when you got all these movements, you got sound, you got an audible situation. They're doing the RPOs now. We was doing it in the 8. I mean, It was just termed, it was different. You have to have a veteran quarterback, and we had Joe Theismann. And you have to have some mobility because we moved the pocket. You can't protect anybody in this game today with a stagnant pocket. You got to be able to move it. And we had sprint and we had dash. Yeah.
Well, Doc, we're gonna take another quick break and we'll be back. We got. I mean, so many places we go, but I'm excited.
No. You got to pay a lot of bills, man. You got a lot of sponsors. I get it.
And we'll be right back with Doc Walker.
Live it, thin energy, lose weight, gain energy.
Hi, I'm Mike Gardner, founder of Thin Energy, the wellness energy that delivers each and every time.
In 6 weeks that I've been taking Thin Energy, I feel fantastic.
I lost 7 pounds in the first week.
You just squeeze it in, you take a shot, and you're done.
Get your drinks, get you hype, get you ready.
I feel great.
Jump on, try Thin Energy.
Drink it, live it.
Thin energy.
Many people are looking for natural alternatives to help ease their aches and pains. Begin stopping the pain with the help of Pain Stopper. Formulated by healthcare providers, Pain Stopper helps alleviate a variety of physical ailments so you can get back to doing what you love.
Our products are triple independently lab tested to ensure the highest quality hemp available.
Visit PainStopCBD.com for more information. Pain Stopper, because why manage pain when you can stop it?
You had me laughing when you were talking about Dick Vermeil because of Marshall and Kevin said the exact same thing. And they said, Kevin was saying they had a party like no other party when he, because he said they got to a point where they were getting ready to mutiny.
Me too. We tried to quit twice on him. Rose Bowl. At Rose Bowl week of practicing, this dude walked on. It was so funny. Ray, Frank, and I went to get taped about noon. I said, if this thing don't work, I'm going to be taped under my stuff, just in case. So I go over there and do that. You remember all the bathrobes they gave us and robes and all that. So we're sitting in there, and the horn blows. Stretch blew the horn, air horn. We just sit in the locker room. Nobody moved.
Nobody
About
came
10
out.
minutes later, that door flew open. He came in there going, what do you know what's going on? And the guy who will remain nameless said, Coach, we thought going to the Rose Bowl was going to be fun. And Dick, after he threw him out, he was done. And he said, anybody else got any questions? He said, you got 12 minutes. The horn's going to go off again. If you're not in our circle, then you're no longer here at the school. And He said, by the way, those of you that just want to go to the Rose Bowl, you can go buy a ticket. I'm here to win it. You know what I mean? And you don't win it without doing what we got to do. And he left. Man, people flying out to go out there. So we went out there, went through his typical deal, bull in the ring, half line, goal line, scrimmage, had a hell of a practice and came in.
Yeah. Well, I got a little bit of that in New Orleans with Jim Moore because he was from that same Dick Vermeil tree.
With who? Coach Moore?
Jim Moore.
Jim Moore?
Yeah. Jim Moore.
Jim was a joke, baby. He's right with him. He's one of them. Yeah. Jim Moore, one of them.
19, yeah. Oh, he could get after you and make you feel like, why am I even playing this game anymore? But you worked through it. It was all mental, and then once you got through it, you were cool. You were fine.
No,
hey,
all of them coach.
Yeah. Now you got a chance. What I thought was interesting to go back and play in the Super Bowl in Pasadena. How was that? I guess everybody was hanging with you because all your guys out there, you knew every lay of the land in California. How was that? What was that experience like? And not just go play, but to
No, it was unbelievable because we stayed right across from Southwest Plaza in Orange County. My mom, the house is 1 mile away. So I'm back in the county. We got a rib guy, Sam Lagarde, who drove a smoker all the way from Virginia. We got our whole setup with ribs. It smelled like barbecue every day because they were doing barbecues in the parking lot. We had MAWML, Flagship, George Michael, Glenn Brenner, Frank Hurt, all these people. We recreated our DMV out of Norris County. And if you recall, it was a short week. We were exhausted. We go from Dallas, and it really helped us because our sweat, but have little sweats in our bag, which means one of their executives, hopefully, assumed Dallas was going to win the championship game. Mm-hmm. So we cashed all their sweats. So you go out there with that chip, and we're supposed to go out with the Rams, Fullerton in practice. And every trip, every bus ride we went to, it was silent because everybody is asleep. You're so exhausted. Mm-hmm. And thank God they went back to give me that week in between. Because when you went on Sunday, and then you got tickets to figure out Monday, travel, and then you go, you out on it's too much. And so it's the way it went until Fulton Walker ran that return back. Mm-hmm. Everybody's kind of like we know what we got to do and we're going to do it, but it's who's going to start it. And when that boy ran that return back, that was a reality check that, oh my God, these dudes are capable in the Super Bowl. They can beat you. And I think that kind of got it started. And then our defense just shut them out to the point in the second half. It's embarrassing. Yeah. And we controlled the line of scrimmage again. And then things started rolling. But to be out in Pasadena and have a Rose Bowl there and then Super Bowl, you can't – I'm going through El Torito at 1 in the morning in a stretch limousine, and that – so you had to go back to – we lived in Inglewood. So if we were going by the donut spot or we were going to go somewhere – because that's how you grew up. Yeah. So Ryan Dewey had 3 stretch, taking the stretch through – the hood and going back to the county. I'll never forget it. It couldn't have worked out better for me because it was home. Mom got to feed her and her girlfriends got to feed the entire team in 2 nights. So we split it in half. Wow. And did the Italian kind of feast. Yeah. And then did the soul food, chitlins and collard greens and candy yam, broke it down old school so about 5 women. They cooked for, it's about 100 people in 2 days. Wow. And they filmed it all. George filmed it. We got it all on film. It's what it should have been. The Rose Bowl for me and the Super Bowl experiences are what they should have been. They were fantastic.
Yeah, you were talking earlier, and I just kind of want to get back to Gibbs during that week. I always thought he was such an innovative guy, but he seemed like he made it simple for you guys because you had a lot of different variation, but only 5 or 6 plays. 5 plays. And he was from the El Coryell tree, right? He came from Don. Yeah. So you could tell the base of the offense and what they were doing, but you couldn't stop it when you had guys moving all over the place like that.
Well, he also had been a Seminole and he'd been a Trojan. So he coached USC's offensive line in the heyday with John McKay.
That's it. That's right.
Once you understand that the most simple equation in football is to be able to knock you off the ball. Mm-hmm. Everything else is simple. Yeah. I think football becomes complicated when I'm trying to trick you. There was no trick. This was very simple. We wanted to do things that we were on top of and down in distance. And so if we win the field position, because he said 1 yard beyond the 20, the likelihood of us scoring is like 45 to 50% more. If we just get beyond that 1 yard, he broke it down to analytics when people weren't talking analytics. We had to force 3 turnovers. We couldn't turn it over. We were plus 47 1 year. Wow. You can't make this up.
No, so, plus 47?
Yeah, and so special teams was everything to him, and he led with it.
Okay.
They ate first. They got everything with special teams. So it's not just lip service. Yeah. And like Parcells and the Giants, we were all on teams. The worst thing you can do is separate your team from special teams. The beauty of special teams is that everybody other than the quarterback was on it, and he held on PATs. So everybody was on it. So it elevates the room, and he had these gifts. He had an ingenious way of passing out perks that he had raised from donors. And you know how we love stuff. You give a dude something, and it could be a razor. It could be headphones. It don't matter.
We love swag. We love
swag. So he had these 5 major gift awards, and he gave things out. He's a master of team dynamics, and he got it because he was a lineman. You know what I mean? So he understood what it was like to have been taken for granted. And he never took the big boys for granted. Everything started with the big boys.
Doc, when you walked away from the game, what was the hardest part? And I thought the camaraderie in the locker room for me was the thing that I missed the most. What was it that you missed?
The check.
Check. Well, that's obvious.
I had friends in the media, though, but you know, civilians aren't like them brothers you go to battle with. It's not. The military has the best thing going because they're in life and death in situations. We feel like we're gonna die. We feel like we could die in some of these practices. But it's the bond that we get in between 2 a days, going to the local hole, you know, and throwing back some lights. It's about when somebody has a child of that unit or when someone loses a parent in that unit. We all feel that same pain. It's the most incredible feeling to be a part of a unit. When you're not a part of that unit, but I cheated just like you cheated because I was still in the environment. The year I left in 85, I covered the team in 86. I was a beat reporter. So with George Michael. So I'm still at training camp without the pain. Feet not hurting, not icing, nothing. You know, fingers not jammed, dislocated. I'm in a truck editing all day, which is air conditioned. And that's when I learned to hate practice. When you have to sit around and you don't get to participate, I hate it. I hate everything about it. I wouldn't mind playing with them, but to watch it, there ain't nothing about that I want to see. I'll watch the film, but get me away from this. So, but my separation was still good. I was there. They had a good team. Then the next year, then the Super Bowl. So I'm covering Doug. I'm in San Diego. I'm watching history. With an African-American quarterback. And then the next time, you know, most teams suck when you're covering them. I did the Federals. They never won a game. But when you get 2 Super Bowls in your run and you get to cover it, then you get to go out and see them with the 91 teams, one of the best teams of all time. Now you're following it. And as a result of that, I thought it was going to be this way every year. And after 20 years of losing, you start to really appreciate, not that they've lost every year. I'd rather say they have never won it all since 94. And to me, that's the only reason I'm in the business. And I just want one more parade. So the Capitals gave it to me. The Mystics gave it to me. The Nationals gave it to me. We're becoming like City of Champions, but we all know what we long for. And so now you're climbing uphill. Now with Coach Rivera, I think it's possible because I see the characteristics of Joe Jackson Gibbs. I see somebody that's coming in not trying to sell you on some cheap suits. He's telling you, hey, we got to do this by hand. We're going to sew it together piece by piece. I trust that. We've had too many salesmen come through.
You know, you and I talked about this. I mean, I know Ron from his days of playing. I don't know him well, Coach Rivera, but I do know he was here in the Carolinas. And I think, you know, once it started happening, it didn't work out for him. But I was happy that he was allowed to go somewhere and get another chance because he's a good guy, a good football guy, and guys like him. And you can see that team already starting to take that characteristic. You talk about it. The culture, though, has to come from the very top. and he has to buffer that because Dan Snyder, I can say it, you don't have to say it because you're there, he gets in the gumbo sometimes too much and doesn't let the spices marinate.
Oh, no, there's nothing you can't discuss. I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
I mean, all his actions are public. Everybody knows what he's done. He knows what he's done. Yeah. But he's got the ability to work himself out of it when he gets tired of being in last place.
Yeah.
So it's all on him. No, ain't nothing nobody got to do. Don't skip around.
No.
Man. And every man. I ain't got nothing to hide. I'm not lying. I want them to win. I want to. You never need. I don't need disclaimers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't work anywhere I couldn't be myself. I'm not in no party that I have to gargle behind some jackass. I don't do that. See, because again, you got to have it goes back to 77. Do you really believe you can earn a living in this country? Yes, sir, I do. Yeah. So I'm not held hostage by no man.
Yeah.
No group. No group. I'm not going to be homeless if I'm not in sports. Yeah, because I got a brain. I can think it out. I can figure it out. So I think you need to have that, especially as a black man in this country. You have got to stand up for what you believe in because this is getting crazy about a moment. They just put together – they're going to give you draft picks if you elevate a black man. Are you serious? You respect a grown man.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. My affection for him is in my heart, and it's with this fan base. I'm pulling for him. Like my kids don't do everything I enjoy, but that's my family.
Yeah.
So to me, they don't. It's not about how they feel about me. It's how I feel about them. I feel good about them. I think we're on the turn. I think there's going to be some great things that happen if we get some in-house leaders. Most of our leaders are on another team the year before. That's the problem. Go back and do the history on it. Yeah. The last 6 of our 10 captains were on other teams the prior year. Who does that? Nobody does that. Hell, you gonna come off the street and come in here and be in charge. No. That'll change. And once that changes and you get real leaders in there, then you got a chance to win.
So, Doc, tell us about you do a lot of charity. You've got the Pro View stuff that you do. You bring people, your motivational speaker. You're touching everything. That's the one thing. That's the one reason I've always admired, because I can remember the first thing when I asked you, hey, can I mentor you? You going to work? Oh, yeah, I'm going to work. And the hustle. I love the hustle that you have, no matter what it is. You're always hustling. So tell us about what you got going on and the things that you're doing.
Well, because I'm a little older than you, I saw people that weren't allowed to hustle.
Gotcha.
They had game too.
Mm-hmm.
But to not be allowed or be eligible for something, that's my hot spot. Yeah. You don't get the right to not allow me to compete for something if it's open. Our country is a country of preferential treatment. We've seen it at admission boards, universities, whatever. Be sick, need to see a cancer specialist or whatever. We're in a who you know world, not what you know. That's got to change. Yeah. COVID-19 has been the best thing ever happened to us taking a hit and a reset button. Not only is our air cleaner now, if you look around from an admission standpoint, we got a better look about this land. We got to appreciate the land. We didn't make it. It was here for us. And we've been quite abusive. And overall, I think as a society, we're greedy. The fact that we have to go to China to get anything and everything right now, to me, is a disgrace. So now that we can't even protect Americans with American-made products here, that's our own fault. We need to look at this and realize that we need to fix us. We're too greedy. Everything's about an extra profit. Hey, Apple, we got plenty of space in America. Mercedes-Benz came over and did it. Ford, General Motors. We can build things here, put Americans to work, if you can deal with a little less profit. So for us to have to go get them swabs from China, dude, it's embarrassing to me. And hopefully our leadership will wake up, because I'm willing to follow them, but you got to be a real leader.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, Doc, we always ended up with what we call a 2-minute drill. Just a couple quick questions so we can let you score, because we know the fun. We want that one more time. So tell us a quick story about you and Dexter Manley in '84 when y'all ran into Muhammad Ali.
Wow. And Dexter, God rest, he's doing well. He had COVID-19. Temperatures down. Well, that's my guy, Dexter. Dexter, I loved him because he practiced so hard. Charles, man, these dudes, they went hard. So, you know, when you're old timers, when you get these young bucks that go hard every play, our job to got to get with them and let them know, hey, young fella, you cut your engines off just a little bit. It's Wednesday. You know, I need this body for Sunday. You younger, so you recover quicker. You know, that's the relationship we have, these young bulls. But I admire how hard they went. So I loved him. And I take him, we go shopping, we go get a haircut, we go. To me, it was very important, pick a young guy every Tuesday and spend time with them. Show them the ropes, like Vern Holland showed me in Cincinnati. The boy took me shopping with him, took me to the barbershop with him. You got to take these young bucks and show them the system. So I would take Dex and we go out, and I had so much fun because he sweat so much. He going to a place at the Millennium Pena, go to the mall, and he was so muscular, he put on stuff and rip it. He'd rip stuff just flexing. So we trying to put stuff back on the rack and do all these things. I had so much fun with him. We go to have dinner, and he ordered 2 entrees every time.
Wow.
2 entrees for every meal. And I just felt like, you know what? I love this dude so much. I thought the university abused him. Mm-hmm. Because you come to a university, you come out in 3 years and you can't read, and they didn't help you through that. And it's another indication of how you can get used in the system. We got to learn how to use the system to our benefit. And he did. And he became able to read and write. He graduated from this. He's an American success story from what he's overcome. And had he been able to control himself, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. So I'm
Tell us
proud
about
this.
That Muhammad Ali story, though. The time.
So we're in the Marriott, and Dex and I were going together. And then we come through, and we took a shortcut through a lobby, and there was Muhammad Ali sitting in there. Well, his brother, he was part of his ad agency out in Herndon. So we said, hey, champ. And he was doing magic. He showed us some magic tricks. So we spent the next hour before the bus left with Muhammad Ali. We played the Dolphins that day. I'll never forget it. And Dexter and I, we couldn't even keep our mind on the game. We just been with the champ for an hour, doing tricks, talking. He signed his stuff. And it was just one of those moments. And then we played the Dolphins. And we won. But it wasn't our finest moments, but we won. And just being with him that day, it was awesome. Yeah, with Dex. Great story. How'd you find out about that? Man, I got people in this area talking too much.
I know. I do research, man. I got to know this about my dudes. And this
my information shouldn't even be readily available. Somebody made a mistake. Yeah.
Hey, great story because everybody knows the champ. Well, I'm gonna let you score here. I know you score as a tight end. I'm gonna give you the corner route here. Why was Dan Riley, the strength coach for the Redskins, so valuable in your eyes?
Because he was the best communicator in our organization, number one. Mm-hmm. He had the trust and confidence as the trainer and strength and conditioning and rehabilitation people have to. Unlike a lot of others, he had our back no matter what. If we respected his position and never missed a workout. They flew him to California to work me and Donnie out in Orange County. Okay. And he brought no weights. He'd wear you out with a towel. He was doing isometric resistance training. Yeah. He worked so hard. He was your number one fan, and he treated everybody the same. Now, that's hard to do in coaching. Yeah. And I go, this dude, he would go, when do you want to work? And we might want to hit a happy hour or whatever. You want to hit a happy hour, one day we say, Dan, let's do it to 11 tonight. No problem. So we leave practice, go downtown, do our thing, rock and roll about 9 p.m., get in them cars and get back there. By 11 o'clock, you throwing up, but you working. Dexter, he worked Dexter at 5 a.m. Dexter wanted to be there at 5:30.
Yeah.
Whatever time you told him, he'd meet you there and wear you out. Him and Jim Sparrows, we had 2 guys, and Mama and Mommy. They 3 dudes, and they didn't say, it's got to be. No. When do you want to do it? So that means I'm there for you, unconditional love. I don't care what the circumstances are. I got you. And the fact that Joe Gibbs allowed him to have that kind of power because he could see. He ran our calisthenics. He'd come out sometime with a bandana on and a jock. That's all he'd wear. And he'd wear combat boots and a jock. And Joe would look at him and just kind of just go. Joe let things breathe. You know what I mean? You got to
Yeah.
If you knew the things that we did and were done, I can't repeat them, I'm sworn to secrecy, but I can't believe he allowed it. I can't believe he did it. He did not overreact to our stupidity.
Yeah.
And that's priceless. Because, dude, we did some dumb things, and he never overreacted.
Doc, hey, I just want to let you know, man, I appreciate you. You know, this is what I'm going to light up a little later. Next time we're on here, this is Chopping It Up, and I know you love cigars. So next time we're on.
Oh, I'm loaded.
Yeah, we're going to have a cigar. Yeah, show me what you got. I know you always.
Well, no. You know, just a little something. I just, you know, I just, you always have to have something special sitting for a brother, just in case. You know? Yeah, it's been about 6 months, not quite ready yet. And then, but in your honor, and of course your show, that Chop It Up, boy, there's a lot of Chop It Ups out there, but ain't nothing like your Chop It Up.
Oh, man. Hey, Doc, I'm going to tell you, I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for being a mentor and a friend. And next time we get on, we're going to start with the cigars and keep going. Because these stories, I'm telling you now, I do research, and I get after my stuff because I'm like you. I work at it. I got to work at it.
Well, it's like Ray Bell, and hopefully you'll get Linus on your program. He's worthy. He's doing some phenomenal things in doing documentaries out in L.A. Yes. He did. And he's just so good at what he does. And it's part of that brewing empire, man, of guys that our best work happens long after they kick you out of school. You know, it's about growing in the community. You know, Oscar Edwards' death, you know, what Frank Dynamite Stevens is doing out in Orange County, man, wealth management. There's a lot of cats doing things, and your show is a connector. It's a good thing about it because it's not just all about the past. I would never do a show that just discuss the past. Yeah. Because really what we've got to be about is what are we going to do? We still got a lot of energy, the future, and what's next. Because I'm starting to figure this out a little bit. Not there yet, but I'm getting closer to figuring it out. So I'm going to bust loose as soon as that all comes together. Because right now, you know, I'm just preparing for something big.
Well, what we're going to do is I'm going to take that because we've talked about roundtable with guys like Frank and Ray Bell and some of the other guys, and then doing this format. But hopefully, once we get out of this COVID stuff, we'll be able to do it live. So next time I'm in the DMV, I'm going to call you, and when you get down to the Carolinas, you got to do the same, and we'll chop it up in real time.
Yeah, good deal, man. God bless. All the best to your family. And I love you because you just keep grinding, man. And I'm so disappointed that you didn't get to coach as long as I want to see you coach. You represent 50 brothers I know that should have a full-time position in the National Football League in some capacity. And they don't because somebody's nephew's, uncle's, child's, kid's, neighbor has that position. As long as I got breath in my body, I'm going to make sure that the public knows that it ain't right.
Well, I appreciate it, Doc. Always good catching up with you, man. Thanks for joining us. And enjoy that stick. It looks good.
May God bless you. All right. Later, baby.